Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Call Sign Trolley Models for part 8 of the Revell 148 scale B-1B. And it's been a long 2 months, but this thing is finally back on the bench. And today, what we are starting off with is getting some of the diorama accessories done with this, starting off with the Skunk Works models uh, bomb trailer right here. Going together really easily. This one I didn't have any problems with. Yes, there are some pin marks on the bottom, but you're not going to be able to see those, so I'm not going to be worried about cleaning those up. And we're just getting the axles and everything attached here. With this base, we're going to have a lot going on. We have the bomb trailers. We're going to have two trailers, one with the GPUs and then also one with the JSOWs, the joint standoff weapons. And then we're going to have a couple empty trailers with some accessories going on right there as well. Then we also have the res kit MJ1 bomb loaders that we're going to be seeing later on in this video. Now with those, I did do a lot of the prep work off camera and cut off all the supports and got everything ready for paint. There's very little assembly done prior to paint on those. So what we're seeing right now is just the main assembly of the bomb carts. And like I said, this Skunkwork one went together very easily, and then we're going to be getting into the Kitty Hawk ones here shortly. And those, the detail on those, there was a lot more detail, but they were not as easy to assemble as what the Skunkworks models one was. So if I had the choice to do it all over again, I would definitely get more of the Skunkworks trailers than I would the Kitty Hawk ones because these, like I said, went together very easily without any issue. And we're just getting all the little tie down points attached right here. Again, really easy. Had to get out my fine tweezers from Ennies to attach those because the other tweezers just wanted to turn those into little projectiles. So we got the fine tweezers from Ennies. And now we're adding in the bomb racks right here. Simple fix. That took me probably about 20-30 minutes to get done. And now we have the Kitty Hawk weapons loading cart set. And as you can see here, starting off already, we already have more platforms and everything. And it luckily it does come with two carts of each. So you are getting some pretty good bang for your buck. But there is a lot more detail in this kit as well. It just doesn't go together as easily as what the Skunk Works did. So getting those all attached, and I'm going to be doing multiples of all these. So sorry for the repetition, but we're working side by side with each one and getting this little toolbox attached right here. We have these little lights going on as well. Something that wasn't included in the Skunkworks models kit. I don't think they are exactly the same trailers, but the detail on them, or they'll be close enough to each other for the diorama that we'll be doing. And we already have the base, the wood base for it made. We just need to do the ground effect for it, which we're going to be doing at the very end of the build after all the paint and everything is done, because we need to get some measurements of where to put the mirrors and everything going on with this build. Now getting the front axles on, trying to get everything lined up here. And then this part was kind of a nightmare to get done because trying to get everything lined up, because it does affect the alignment of the actual trailer when it's assembled as well, the two parts of the trailer. So getting these little bars attached, and then we're going to get the two platforms of the trailer attached to this and getting that lined up and in place. There's no connection tabs on this, so it's just a line up and glue in on both of them. And as you can see, it kind of goes wonky on me there for a second as well. And we're getting the two foldable platforms here. Gonna have it down. And now for the base for the JSALs, the joint standoff weapons, we're gonna have those sitting on some boxes. So I need to scratch build those. And I'm just using some plastic card, gluing those together, making a box. It's not too difficult. Right here, just gluing all those in. We're gonna make two of these. And for my sprue cutters, I am using God Hand sprue cutters. They are pricey for cutters, but they do cut like butter. Absolutely love them for your fine detail work or cutting off sprues where you don't have to worry about sanding a large connection point off. These are definitely the cutters you want to use. All right, first box is done. A little test to make sure everything fits right. And there we go. We get the other one done off camera. And now we're going to be working on the metallic details landing gear right here. As you can see, we already did the wheelbase prior to starting the channel. So those are done and you can see them in one of the other parts of the video, but you can see this landing gear that's 3D printed, the cable detail that's on there, and then also this part right here, getting all the supports off, and then you can see the cable detail that's on there as well going together. It fits really well. We just had a little bit of cleanup to do on the connection point of that just to kind of smooth it out. Sorry for the focus there. Getting that on, and boom, you can see how nice that looks, and when it's all painted it's going to look even better. And going on to the kit parts now. This is one of the landing gear doors. We did have some ejector pin marks that were very large. Using the reciprocating sander from Despy to take care of those, getting those as good as possible. And now we get to work on the intakes. Now, if you want to see the inbox review of that and see everything that's going on closer in detail, you can go to the playlist of the B-1B and you can see the actual inbox review. And it's also in my inbox review playlist as well. So now we have just cutting off the parts right here. Apologize, my mowing crew decided to show up right now, so you might hear some mowers in the background. Then also numbering these parts because they are side specific, so I want to make sure that I keep them to the right side of the intake. So I'm doing a quick test fit to see how everything goes. Everything's looking good right here. Just need a couple more parts to clean off. This part was a little bit of a pain in the butt to cut off. The first time, the second time, and third time, and fourth time, I figured out how to do it correctly. As you can see here, or you'll see here in a second, one of the parts does break on this one. But luckily, with the 3D printed resin, when it does break, it is a clean break. So it's very easy to glue it back in place. You don't have to worry about sanding anything down. You just glue it right back into place and it fits right in. There's might be a little bit of a seam or a crack in the plastic that you might be able to see, but it's very faint. And then getting these cut off as well. Again, sorry for the mowing in the background. And now getting these parts cut off. These are exhaust cans right here. Getting them cleaned up and then a quick test fit. Nice little locator tab. And now we're to the paint booth. Starting off with the MRP titanium paint for our base coat. We already primed it with the Mr. Hobby or Mr. Surfacer 1500 black. So going in here and doing everything. And then we're going to hit the intake fan blade covers with the matte aluminum. It's the only piece That's getting that. And then up next, we are coating everything with burnt metal from AK Extreme Metals. Then up next, we have the exhaust suit from MRP, and then we're just going to be hitting up those in some like light streaking areas, especially in the exhaust area. Really doesn't show up too much on camera, but in person it does show up very well right here. And then now we're back using the reference to look at our intakes. As you can see, they are grungy. So now we're going to start making my intake sludge. And by doing this, what we're using is the Mr. Weathering color multi-white, multi-gray, multi-black, and grayish brown. And we're going to be doing one part each of each of those, and it's going to show up to a color like this. It's kind of a grayish, brownish sludge color, and we're going to be just dabbing that all over the place right here. With the brush, and then afterwards we come in with a little piece of sponge and we're just going to dab it down, wiping off the excess on my glove as we go. See, cleaning up any of the spillage that went down the back end. And there we go. That's how it's going to look right there. And then we're going to do that on all of the exhausts. Now we're starting the final assembly of the engine. Then I'm marking off the tab, the locating tab for this piece right here, just to make sure it's lined up correctly and fits perfectly. Then the same thing with this. The locator tabs are nice, so you can't really mess this up because there is one side that has two close tabs, so it does get it in the right position. Now getting in the glue right here, get it lined up, put in, press in, fit, no issues. Then we're going to get this ring on, putting some super glue around the edge. And with these fan blades, you can't see them at all when they are installed. So don't waste a whole lot of time if you're building this because you can't see them. All right, so now we're working on the APU exhaust area. First, we got to get this little hole cleaned out. Then we're also going to be we're going to be putting in the actual engine on the port side right here. The fit of it was a little bit tight. I had to take some modifications to get it to work, and also working around to get the front intake face to work over the leading edge of the intake. So sanding off a little bit to get it to fit because there was a decent gap in between the two. So now we got that fixed. We can glue that into place. We do have a little bit of putty that's needed for it, but using the perfect putty, we'll be good to go. And then this APU exhaust piece, we have a little piece in the back to go on right here. And then we're going to get this in. This was a very tight fit. You just had to press it in and it locked into place. I really didn't even need to use glue to get this to stay in place, but I just wanted to make sure. All right, now we have the actual intake faces right here, getting those cut off with our knife. Then a little bit of cleaning. Do a quick test fit to see how that's looking right there. Looking pretty good. We are, again, going to need a little bit of putty. And then with this, we do have the option of having the intake doors open or closed. So I am using the open version right here. And yeah, those just have two little locator tabs right there. They slot right in a spot. Super easy to do. And a little dot of glue on each hole. And boom, there we go. We're going to get the other one cut off. being very delicate with the knife right there because there is a little piece that comes out. That's the actuating arm for the opening and closing of these doors. So you just need to be very careful when working with cutting those off the support blocks. Then we're going to get the tab in using my Bosun Mate hammer to get it put into place. Then glue this in, and this one is done with the exception of putty. All right, now we have the intake covers. I am going to be using like 2 of these on the intakes, and then leaving the other 2 off. And then we have the exhaust cans right here. These things, absolutely gorgeous detail printed on, and they fit perfectly as well, as you can see right here. And now we have this piece. This is the piece that goes on the aft section of the fuselage. Will say that this was a little bit of a nightmare getting attached to the kit because of the scratch building I did. So if you're going to be doing this, if you're not going to be doing the scratch building, you shouldn't have an issue with the fit of that. But if you are doing the scratch building, just attach that prior to doing your scratch building. We have this little exhaust port right here, which I'm going to do a quick test fit, but I'm going to paint that separately and attach that after paint and everything is done. It's going to be part of the final assembly of the build. Just gluing that into place, and again, a perfect fit. No issues with that. It's a nice tight fit. All right, so now we're working on the other side, and we are working on the exhaust that has our actual engine components. Getting that test fit on to the intake, and you can see right there how that looks. Then we have the actual nacelle with the engine. We're doing a quick test fit of the intake on how that looks. You got to get it lined up, and once you get it lined up correctly, it slides right into place without any issues. Then we have our actual engine. The detail on this is absolutely mind-boggling, but was so much fun to paint. Okay, just have a little bit of cleanup to do right here. Then we have the front bulkhead to the engine compartment as well to cut off right here. Doing a quick test fit on that, see how everything goes. All right, here we go. Painted engine, all done. Now we get to do some washes. And right there, as you can see, the engine compartment for the nacelle and the intake all done. We're going to be using the Mr. Weathering color multi-black for this. And then we're just going to spread it all over the place, and then we're going to kind of wipe off the excess right there. And when the engine's in, you really can't see much of this anyways. So again, just grunging it up a little bit. I'm using mineral spirits to help clean up the excess as well. All right. And then the engine, same thing. We're just going to spread that multi-black on here and kind of let this set, and it will kind of grunge up the engine a little bit, but not too much. And there's a completed engine portion of it, and now we get to get this all lined up and put in. Just some squeezing. It is a very, very tight fit on this, and we're still going to have a little bit of a gap to deal with on it. As you can see here, we got the gaps taken care of with the perfect putty. Now getting this nacelle attached. There's a nice little slot that it just slots right into, and we're going to get a good amount of glue attached, so it's a good strong attachment point. Now we're going to start masking off. I'm not going to film all of this. You're going to get to see the finished product here, but I'm using tape and the foam, and here is the final portion. This is ready for primer, and now we're also going through some of the diorama stuff with res kit and Galaxy Models figures right here to go through. These are the res kit figures for the MJ1 bomb loader right here. Then this is the MJ1 bomb loader. So we have two of these. We have one with the raised arm and one with the lowered arm. As you can see with the detail that's included in that. And then here's the other one. The dashboard looks absolutely amazing. And again, the cabling detail and everything going on with the actual arm. And then we have the Army Cast flap set going on. Still have some more stuff to do, but I'm going to paint those and attach those afterwards. And the same thing with the slats. We're going to pretty much glue those together and then paint those here. And then the wing glove area going together right there. And that's pretty much going to be the end of this portion of the workbench. And you're going to get to see me in the outro here in just a second. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so that's going to do it for today on the B-1B. And as you can see, we are all finished with the construction portion of this build. Now it's time to move on to the paint booth. I'm going to start getting some primer down on it tomorrow. I'm going to take the rest of the day off from the workbench and work on the editing of this video and do some other stuff as well. But moving forward, we're going to be moving into all the figures, the diorama based accessories like the trailers and everything. And I still do have a few more on order that can be added on after everything is done, because those are kind of out of the way, so that's not really a big deal. But I'm guessing the next two videos are going to be going over the painting of this one. I have decided which decal scheme I'm going to go with, so we got to go over some weathering photos and everything, trying to make it as close to realistic as possible with the weathering on that. So that's where we're at, and I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you did, please don't forget to hit that like button, comment down below, and also if you haven't yet, subscribe. It helps the channel, helps me out, and yeah, I really like to talk to all of you guys down in the comments as well. Well, other than that, that's all I got. And I hope to see you guys next time. And until then, I hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.